Man, we here on Cliche 93 TV. As you can see, we got an absolute legend, man. Historical legend. And the first question I got just out the gate, man. How you feeling, man? How you holding up?
Man, I feel great, man. Like I was telling your partner, man, I'm always grateful every day. Every day I wake up, that's the first thing I say. Thankful and grateful for another day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, I know you get this a lot, but for the viewers, my age and a little younger, when would you say was the first time that you met the great Tupac Shakur?
Well, our families were connected and intertwined before I was even born.
Oh, is that right?
You know, some of his family was good friends with my family, and they had this connection and this bond before I even came into the planet. And so, you know, we were as close as could be without being blood related.
Oh, that's dope. And can you tell the people what city, what state?
New York City.
Absolutely.
New York City, man, in the 70s and the 80s, man. Brooklyn, Harlem, the Bronx.
Absolutely, absolutely. So y'all kept in contact, even when like through grade school, and then when you eventually moved to what was it, Baltimore? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been to Baltimore to visit California. Like I said, our families were pretty much, you know, connected in multiple ways, and so we always stayed in contact over the years.
Absolutely. So a lot of people know Pac for like being super talented, first he can do anything. He was called a triple threat a lot of the times. Like early on, could you or his other family or friends like see that in him, or it's like it just blew y'all out the water, or it just like was a surprise to y'all that he actually made it to the status and to the level that he actually made it?
Nah, absolutely wasn't a surprise. Tupac was always the kind of person that had ideas, always had a vision, you know, always had a plan. Like us as little kids, New York City, trying to figure out, navigate life, navigate the streets. You know, Pac was our leader then, and he was 12, 13 years old. We would hop on the train, we would figure out how to eat for the day, and he always had an idea and always had a plan.
Absolutely. So back then when y'all was running around hopping on subways and stuff like that, and like trying to figure it out, like as you said, to try to see what y'all was gonna eat for the day, was you rapping back then? Was you into performing arts or just rap music period back then?
Nah, well, I didn't really get the hip hop bug to want to rap until I was like 13, 14 years old. Up until that point, I was just a fan of the music, and growing up in New York, hip hop was everywhere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so,
Are you and Pac the same age?
nah, he a little older than me.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's older than me about 3 years.
All right.
And so, yeah, hip hop was just everywhere, and I just loved it from the first time I heard, you know, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Sugar Hill Gang, all that shit. Just loved it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when he ended up moving to Baltimore, like, were you heartbroken, or was it just like it didn't really matter because y'all was so close and you kept in contact and was going to visit or whatever the case is?
Nah, not really heartbroken because, you know, I eventually left New York too and moved to Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for a few years, and so around the same time he moved to Baltimore, I moved to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And, you know, people started trying to get out of New York. Was so fucking crazy and just so hard living, you know. All our parents was trying to figure out a way how to get up out of there.
So would you say like the movie like New Jack City was like kind of depicted New York City at them times, or it was like kind of far fetched, or it was like really like kind of like New York,
Nah,
New Jack City, like it was hard, like
a lot of New Jack City came from, you know, actual real life events. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Carter, all that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really existed. And so New York was definitely a hectic place to live, especially during the height of the crack era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Crackheads everywhere, crack vials in the street. you know, family members on crack, you know, the whole shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It definitely wasn't like no made up portrayal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was pretty much accurate.
Okay, so like most inner cities back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, so once Pac left, would you say he picked up more of the hip hop, or he was like still doing performing arts, or was he always just into music? Like when did the music part come in as far as him?
I think the music part came very early.
Oh,
You know, as far as it's, we all love music. We all grew up listening to music, loving hip hop. We was all hip hop babies. You know what I mean? And so Pac was rapping from an early age, and I was rapping too, but I didn't come out publicly that I was rapping until a little while later. You know, Pac's first cousin, who was also Castro in the group Outlaws, he used to kick my raps around Pac.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I wasn't around it, Pac one day was like, yo, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, then he had to admit it, like, yo, that ain't my rhyme. That's Mouse.
Yeah.
That's what they call me. And so
was that a family name, or that's what you was going by back then, like as a rapping name or a?
Nah, well, my real name is Malcolm. Oh, so they used to call me Malk for short. Oh, I'm named after Malcolm X. So they used to call me Malk for short. And so, you know, Castro was like, that made my raps, them is Malk's raps. And Pop was like, oh shit, is that right? Well, tell him to send me some music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually I cooked up a demo and sent him a demo. Now the shit I was doing.
Okay, well now was this when he was already on, when he was already signed?
This is when he was just getting on. This was like 90, 91. And what I mean? And so he was he had just did same song. Digital Underground. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So he was already in California at that time.
Yeah.
Messing with the Digital Underground.
Yeah, up in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know he said his mom, rest in peace, was very political in a of course openly Black Panther Party. Was that in Baltimore or New York, or was when they came to California? Do you know that?
That was in New York City.
Oh, so they had a chapter. They was a part of the chapter out there.
Yeah, well, his mother successfully defended herself and her comrades. They was known as the Panther 21. You could look this up.
Yeah.
And you know, they were facing 300 different charges. You know what I mean? Terroristic threats, all kind of shit. And so while she was pregnant with Tupac, she successfully defended herself and her comrades and was acquitted of all 300 charges. You know what I mean? And she wasn't a trained attorney. She was, I believe, a paralegal at the time, but just a super intelligent woman. And so, yeah, you know, that was New York City.
And ended up getting all the brothers and sisters off of that case.
100%.
That's crazy. Yeah, go look that up. That's astounding shit. So, were you the first person who sent Pac some music, or he was already? So 2 questions. Were you the first one who sent them some music, and how did the whole outlaw thing come about? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I was absolutely.
How did that start to form?
It started basically with me and his cousin Castro and Gaddafi. I was the first one that was rapping out of me, Castro, and Gaddafi. We was like the younger kids, you know what I'm saying? And
Gaddafi is his cousin as well?
God brother.
Oh, God brother, okay.
Yeah. All right. So we all grew up together. Me, Pac, Castro, Gaddafi. We all grew up together. That's how everything started as far as the Outlaws is concerned. And so I sent him my demo like 90, 91. He heard it. He was like, yo, you definitely got potential. You gonna come out here to Cali with me, but you gotta graduate high school and graduate on time. You know what I mean? Up until that point, I was a C- average student, really didn't care about school. I had already made it up in my mind what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna be a rapper, so I wasn't really focused on school. But he made it a point to let me know that I couldn't do it unless I graduated high school. And so
always
from that point on,
education, huh?
From that point on, I was an A student. I graduated high school with all A's, and that summer of '92, I went to Oakland. And everything started right there.
And what about Castro and the other members? How did that come on?
Yeah, we all went together.
Oh, y'all all went together.
Yeah.
All right. So it was just you and Castro, or just
No,
everybody?
it was me, Castro, and Gaddafi.
Okay. And y'all went out there. So of course it didn't just start right away.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, I imagine. So when y'all fly to California, y'all get to Oakland. What is that like? Pac, I'm here. What's going on? Like what you seeing? Like what's going on? At the time, he's still with Digital Underground, correct?
Yeah, he's still with Digital Underground, but Juice had came out already. 2pacs Now had came out already.
So he popping.
And so, he getting popping.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's
popping.
still early in his career. Juice was successful for him.
Mm-hmm.
2pacs Now was critically acclaimed. You know what I mean? He was taking baby steps towards greatness, but he was still very young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was only like 20 years old.
Man.
You know what I mean? I was like 17. Castro was like 15. And Gaddafi was like 13. You know what I mean? So we was really babies.
Gaddafi was 13?
Yeah.
He told all y'all to come? That's how much he belief he had in y'all? Teenagers?
Yeah, well, I mean, the belief was there, but also he's looking at it like, these my little brothers, my little cousins, you know what I'm saying? I gotta help them find a way and make a way out of this shit too. And so he wanted to provide us with an opportunity. And of course we had talent. It wasn't like we didn't have some talent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't think he would have wasted his time if we was just no talent. He saw something in us and was like, yeah, all y'all come and we gonna, y'all can watch me and learn how to do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so when y'all came out, y'all went to his house? Y'all was living with him, or he arranged?
Yeah, we went straight to his house, man. I'll never forget that day. Him and Richie Rich. Shout out to Richie Rich from the Bay.
Oh, from the Bay? Yeah, shout out
legendary
to
Richie Rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
They was sitting on the couch rolling up a pound of weed. That was the most weed I had seen at one time in my life. They had like a mountain. No,
was it, Reggie?
Not at all.
All right,
not in Oakland.
Yeah.
Not in Oakland.
Yeah. Because you said 90 back there. All right.
Nah, it was that. It was. They called it Cyto back then.
That's what I never heard that terminology. I heard Indo back then. And then
they used to call it Cyto up there in the Bay. You know what I mean? Shout out to the governor. The governor, Big Gov, gave it that name. And so, they was just sitting on the couch rolling weed. You know what I'm saying? Kicking it. Look, they was rock stars to us. We was like, this is what you do all day.
Yeah.
Y'all sit around and smoke weed all day and then go to the studio, make music. I'm with all that. Let's do it.
Yeah, now that E.D., you in California, was that like a adjustment period? Are you like, dang, like, was you starstruck? I'm not necessarily starstruck, like the environment. Was it different from coming from New York, Baltimore, and then Minneapolis? Was it
100%. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, California, y'all got palm trees out here. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful women, great weed. The weather's always perfect. I fell in love with it.
Absolutely. So what was the first mission? Or the task that y'all was given? Like, all right, we out here, I want y'all to do this, or hey, Pac, can we do this? Like, what was y'all first task? You coming out here, like, look, I ain't come out here for no reason. Of course, he brought y'all out there for a reason. Like, what was y'all first mission or gig or anything like that once y'all landed down here in Oakland, California? Yeah,
man, our first mission was to figure it out. Like, Pac wasn't really the kind of dude that was going to hold your hand. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, as soon as we got to Oakland, this dude disappeared for like a week.
Is that right?
He just left us in his apartment. We ain't had no food up in there. We ain't had no money. We ain't had nothing. I think he was staying with some chick that he would have to go on the road and do certain things and, continue to handle his business, and he would just leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be like, yo, I'll be back in a week.
So at the time, if you could spend what he used to give y'all allowance, or y'all just really like had to figure it out in the streets?
Allowance.
I mean, you know what I mean? He did bring y'all
allowance.
Out there. Right?
Yeah, like figure it out.
Figure it out.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we had to get on the phone. Our moms.
Yeah.
Pac done left. We ain't got no food.
Yeah.
They had to send us a couple bucks. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But, we had to figure it out, man. And it was, at the time, I didn't realize it then, but, it was a lot of legends that would pull up and show us love and look out for us.
Like
people like Spice One. People like I said, Richie Rich.
Legend.
You know what I mean? The OG Shorty B.
Yeah.
Who played a lot of bass and guitar for Too Short.
Yeah.
G Nut.
Was you seeing show too? You was seeing Too Short as well?
We would see Short out and about. You know what I'm saying? Short was active. Short was moving. You know what I mean? He was
legend
he
too.
was Too Short. You know what I mean? Already.
He was already popping.
Yeah, 92. Yeah. Short was already popping.
Did you, by any chance, did y'all run into P out there at the time?
P who?
Master P.
Nah, I don't ever remember running into Master P.
Nah, because he said he had new Pac or whatever they had they run in.
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
Yeah, he showed a lot of love to Pac or whatever the case is. Did you ever get run into Mac Dre?
We ran into Mac Dre after Pac died. You know what I'm
after
saying?
okay.
We see Mac Dre in the Bay, and we definitely got a chance to meet him and chop it up with him. But this was after.
All right, would you say any of y'all music was influenced by the Bay Area or y'all sound, or y'all just kept the same East Coast, like that grit, you know, that traditional East Coast rap?
Well, me personally, one of the first, it was two rappers that when I got to the Bay Area that I immediately loved their music and their style, and that was E40 and Sebo.
Oh, 40 and Sebo, two legends, bro. You are naming legends, absolutely.
Yeah, so
shout out to them.
One thing Pac did, he would because we was super East Coast. We was heavy in the, you know, like Naughty by Nature and Cool G Rap and, you know, Big Daddy Kane and all of them. And Pac was like, you know, he was showing us that hip hop is bigger than just one city or one coast.
Yeah.
And so he was like, you know, them niggas is cool, but y'all need to listen to them.
Yeah.
And see how they do it and see what they talking about and, you know, how they verbalize their experiences and paint their pictures. And so,
absolutely,
you know, in the beginning, we was reluctant. Like, you know, man, we don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas can't rap, but slowly but surely.
But before, not to cut you off, was that a big thing, though, coming from the East, that a lot of the West Coast rappers, like, really couldn't rap, or y'all looked at it like they wasn't lyrical enough? Like, was that really a thing?
I mean, it really all boils down to, you know, the shit started on the East Coast, and so when it comes to New York, they feel like because they started it, they do hip hop the best.
Yeah.
And it took us a long time to get out of that mentality and realize that other parts of the country done picked this shit up and start doing it a little bit better, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Y'all started it, but they doing it, you know, the South took it and did their thing with it. The West definitely had they run and did their thing with it. The Midwest. And so hip hop became not only, you know, big in America, and now it's a global phenomenon. But like I said, because it started in New York and the East Coast, they felt like they just did it better than everybody else. And, you know, they had to learn the hard way.
So within this timeline, was this before the prison stint?
Yeah, this was all before that.
Oh, this was all before that. Yeah. So did y'all book any shows or anything like that at the time when y'all was in Oakland or when he was messing with
who, us personally or him?
Correct. You.
Nah, we wasn't booking no shows. You know what I'm saying? We was greener than grass.
Yeah.
We was just out there learning. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to actually go to the studio and make a record and not just be a rapper. You know, there's a difference between being an actual recording artist and just being a rapper.
Absolutely. Yeah, so when he ended up catching a case that he wasn't guilty of, was y'all still in Oakland at that time?
Nah, we was in Atlanta. We was in Georgia.
Oh yeah, y'all was in Atlanta.
Back and forth between Georgia and New York.
All right, so when did y'all end up going to Atlanta? Like when it's like, all right, it's time to go, we out of here. How did y'all get from Oakland to Atlanta? He still had y'all with it. So y'all transition was straight from Oakland to Atlanta, or was it a pit stop in between?
Nah, was to make a long story short, you know, Pac had a very active career, obviously. And so because we were so young and underage, he couldn't take us everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and then like two of us was still in school. Like Castro and Gaddafi was actually still in school. Them niggas ain't even, you know, hadn't even graduated high school yet. I was the only one that was out of school. And so, you know, once that summer of 92 was over, everybody had to kind of go back to their normal life, so to speak. And my uncle was a money getting nigga who had a lot of money that he needed to do something with. So he got a condo in Atlanta. He was like, look, I ain't really finna be down there, but you can go down there if you want to and live in the condo, you know what I'm saying? And basically figure it out. I could have went to college, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. But I was just really waiting for Pac to make the phone call and be like, let's get back to work.
Yeah. When y'all moved to Atlanta, was Gaddafi and Castro with you?
They eventually came. Actually, they eventually came. Pac eventually moved to Atlanta. His family, his moms, his aunts, uncles. Now most of our family live in Atlanta.
Absolutely. So after you went to jail, like, what did y'all do after that? Like, was y'all lost? Did y'all give up on music? Was y'all still trying to pursue it and all that when he went to?
Nah, we was just waiting. We was just waiting for all that shit to get cleared up. Because, like you said, we knew he wasn't guilty.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And we was just like, it's gonna be a matter of time before he come home, and we'll get back to work. So we just had to, figure it out.
Yeah. So when he dropped the album, they said he was the only person who ever. I don't know if it still stands. The only person had a #1 album in prison. How was like the family feeling? How was y'all feeling? Like, man, he got a #1 album. He in prison. Like, was he able to send like money? He was able to see any of that, or he was just like everything was on hold?
He was in a cell. You know what I'm saying? He was in a cell. He really couldn't do much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For nobody, and we wasn't really.
Dang, with a #1 album.
We wasn't really concerned. We was more concerned about his well-being.
Absolutely.
And his safety and him coming home in one piece.
Absolutely. So fast forwarding a little bit, did he ever discuss like the deal or his plans when when Suge came about, like, hey, cuzzo, I think I'm about to sign, you know what I'm saying, to death row, or I think I'm gonna go in another direction. Was that conversation ever had, or it was a surprise to everybody when he ended up doing it?
I mean, it wasn't really a surprise because at the time, like a little bit before he went to prison, he was on the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Yeah.
He had already kind of started doing some business with Suge and Death Row. Always had a cool relationship with Snoop and the Dogg Pound.
Oh, so it was before he went to prison that he actually had some business dealings with him.
Yeah, well, they paid him some money to be on the soundtrack.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. People saying that. All right.
And so they already had a working relationship, you know what I mean, in some regard. And of course, Death Row was distributed by Interscope, so it wasn't really a shock to us. And at the time, Death Row was the biggest thing moving. And so, he was like, yo, I'm about to sign with Death Row. He was like, bet.
And when he eventually got released, like what? Like was every I'm pretty sure everybody was happy or whatever, but like when y'all start getting to work, was that when the Outlaws like officially like first of all, how did the Outlaw name come about though?
Yeah, the Outlaw names came about when he was locked up in prison. And so, we would go to visit him, and a lot of times during those visits, we'd be plotting and planning, plan, plot, strategize. So how, what we gonna do when he get out of prison, how we gonna reformulate the group, you know what I'm saying? We had already was about to sign an Interscope as a group called Dramacidal. And so we had a deal on the table with Interscope.
So that was the original name before the Outlaws?
Yeah.
The Dramacidal. And who was the members in that?
That was me, Castro, Napoleon, and Gaddafi.
And Gaddafi, all right.
Yeah. But Gaddafi was also in and out of jail, at that time as well.
Yeah.
Y'all call it YA out here.
Youth Authority.
He was in the little youth camps and shit like that. So he would be in the group and out of the group depending on if he was in jail or not. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with a little different cases and shit. But that was the name of the group. Like I said, we were just plotting, planning, and one day he was like, yo, I'm changing my name to Machiavelli. And we was like, Maca who? Who was that? And he was like, well, this is this book I'm reading called The Prince, you know what I'm saying? And this guy by the name of Machiavelli is the guy who wrote it. And he got all these different theories and ideologies and on war and how to, defeat your enemy and how to you know, be sharp mentally and you know, strategic and different things like that. And so, of course, you know, when you're in prison, you read a lot of books, you get a lot of different information because you got all this extra time on your hands. And he was reading a whole lot of books. And so he was just like, yo, we're going to change our names. Because at the time, now it's popular in rap, you know what I'm saying? Like different rappers and groups was changing their names, but most of the time, they was changing their names to like Gambino or Pacino or, you know, some Italian or, you know, some mafioso type shit. He was like, nah, we're gonna use actual people from history and these are people that America hates. You know what I'm saying? Because we feel like America hates the young black male. And so that was his whole thinking on that. And we just started picking names and shit. And sometimes the name fit you physically or mentally.
So he came up with Machiavelli when he was in prison before he even got out. So what ended up happening with the deal that y'all had before he signed the Suge?
Yeah, we just never signed it because he was like, yo, we going to death row. Y'all not gonna sign that deal.
He brought out the death. So when he signed the death row, the Outlaw signed the death row as well, or Pac?
Not right away.
Not right away. And once he got out and signed the death row, like was it love? Did y'all feel the love? Like what was going on with that? Once y'all got into death row and start seeing Snoop and Dog Pound and the real like Cali love and how they was doing it out there, like was y'all like, oh yeah, this is where we need to be? Like was it the hospitality wise? Like how was it? Did they welcome y'all, or you know, it was like problems or whatever the case was? Y'all comfortable over there?
Nah, it was love. Mm-hmm. We was very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Death Row was definitely a family at the time. And, you know, when Pac came home, everybody was just happy he was home, wanted to help him get back in the game, be as successful as he could be. And we was all one unit moving in the same direction. So, you know, it was lovely.
Absolutely. So I want to touch back on the Outlaws. When was it decided, like, you know what? Because he came off that great the All Eyes on Me. You know, that was all time classic, my favorite album of all time. You know, I got that at #1. That's a fact. It ain't even close. You know what I mean? But,
talking shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. I put that up against anything, anybody. Right. But the success of that, when was it like really like discussed, like, oh, it's time to really drop? Like, let's do this music. Because you know he was successful. Like, or that came beforehand.
As far as what, the Outlaws?
The album. That's the album, like actually like starting to put out the music. Like, we're gonna do our album.
Well, you know, he knocked out All Eyes on Me pretty quickly. You know, and that came out, did what it did, phenomenal numbers. And you know, we immediately started working on our own music. Like, we was always working on our own music.
Just waiting for the opportunity.
Just you know, just being staying ready so we ain't gotta get ready, basically. Yeah.
That's what's up. And so once it came to fruition, like y'all coming into your own, and once that album dropped, how did you feel? Like, people know your name now. Like, all right, you know.
You mean the Still I Rise album?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Still I Rise album was like, you know, that shit was bittersweet because even though it was successful, that was a lot of music that we was recording together when both our brothers were still living, Tupac and Gaddafi. Yeah. And so, you know, we dedicated that album to them. It was a labor of love, you know what I mean? But it was also bittersweet.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like that album on the West, it got a whole lot of love, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the timing, like, I feel like it was so unappreciated and like, I wouldn't say underrated because it was very successful. You know what I mean? But like, when you talk about albums, like, a lot of people like don't have that. And I'm like, well, you crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Like, when I talk to it, like, wait, let me pause. How does it feel to be from the East Coast and not, I can't speak for you, but I only can speak for growing up in LA and actually feeling the vibes and stuff like that at the whole East Coast, West Coast thing that was going on. How does it feel like to be from the East Coast and knowing the much talent that Pac had and you guys had to really get more love, correct me if I'm wrong, from the West than the East? Was y'all feeling that? Was y'all feeling that way? Or is it just people in LA that feel like Pac, because you know he immortalized out here, bro?
Nah, 100%.
That's a fact. Like y'all, you guys, I don't know,
sure.
but you're in line with Pac. Like I said when I first met you, you know what I'm saying? Okay, legend. Y'all, you guys are legendary out here. Legendary. Pac is the greatest rapper, in my opinion, of all time. It's not even close. But he came out here, but he's not originally from here. But you guys get a lot of West Coast love.
Yeah.
Did you feel like y'all was getting more love from the East Coast or the West Coast?
Well, let me first say we super appreciative and always have been of the love we got out here on the West Coast, man. Like, you know, the West Coast opened their arms up, embraced us, accepted us like, you know, we was one of their own. And so we always loved it. We always had nothing but respect for everybody and how they got down out here. For us, you know, a lot of people may not realize this or understand it, but Pac get a lot of love on the East Coast. Like,
do we?
They love him in New York.
That's what's up, bro.
But I'm talking about the streets, though.
Yeah.
Not the industry shit. You know what I'm saying? Not the radio guys and all of those kind of cats. You know what I'm saying? They all have their own opinion of Pac. But as far as the streets, the underdogs, the cats that really listen to that music and needed to get up every day, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They love Pac.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Because you know, I've been out there a couple times, but I never been out there during that time. So I would, from our perception coming from LA, like, oh, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't even appreciate this greatness. They just like, ah, you know what I mean? But did you guys ever did you ever get like people calling y'all traitors or thinking like, oh, I was mad at y'all because like y'all was like, they like, nigga, you from here. And y'all, I don't say necessarily repping that, but y'all was like rocking with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Pac rocking with us. Of course, y'all rocking with Pac. So y'all, you know what I mean? Did y'all ever get that? Like, people like, what's up with y'all? Yo, what's going on? Like, y'all from...
Nah, not really, man, because I think most people understood that our beef was not with a whole coast or a city that we actually was from. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love New York. Pac loved New York. You know what I'm saying? How could you not? That's where we that's where we from.
That's where it started,
It was an issue with a camp and you know, that was where the issue was, but as far as a whole coast or city, nah, that's ridiculous.
So the narrative that Pac was delusional or he just wanted to believe what he wanted to believe, would you say that that's a true statement or that was media push? Like as far as like who shot him or whatever the case was, you know, all that. We won't get into the specifics, but like, you know, the narrative, oh man, we didn't have nothing to do with that. Certain people, certain individuals, we ain't gotta say their name, but like the narrative that they was trying to push on Pac was like he delusional. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people try to push that narrative. No, he was delusional. He just was losing. He was unraveling. He was in character too much. Do you feel like that was an accurate statement on him, or like they was actually lying because you was there right with him the whole time? Like, do you feel like he was unraveling, or like he had it all together? Like he knew what he was talking about? Like you can say whatever you want to, you know, if you can't touch on it.
I think, you know, we got to keep in mind how young Pac was. You know what I'm saying? And how young he was and the type of shit that he was going through. You know what I mean? At such a young age. And so, you know, hindsight always 2020. I'm sure had he survived and lived, he may have handled things differently or he may have not. But at the end of the day, he spoke his truth, always spoke his truth unapologetically. And you know what I mean? You take it how you want it. But those who, you know, were involved and had something to do with whatever took place, they know who they are, you know, and when, you know, their names are spoken, you know, a head dog gonna holler.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. But yeah, it's definitely. I'm not gonna lie, man. I know with me and when I heard the news, I was young, bro. We cried, bro. Like when Pac, like I never, to be honest, I felt that way about 3 people that wasn't my family members, but I felt like, and I could speak for everybody in LA, like Pac, Kobe, and Nipsey. Like when you just heard the news of those, like it was just like you can't believe it, you don't want to believe it. like it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you feel like you know, I knew Nip personally, but Pac and you know, and Kobe, like it's like when you feel like you feel like they one of yours, like it just
100%.
like the whole world stopped.
100%.
And I know you was dealing with, like, of course, trauma and not in the right state of mind when, you know, when that all those things happen. But did you ever sit back and just look at the gratitude and the love that he had? Like so many people, like, you know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna say this, before his death, did you guys really know what Pac was to the West Coast? 'Cause I'm gonna say the West Coast because Pac was everything out here. Like I didn't listen to East Coast music because of Pac. I didn't like big. This is a fact, bro. This is a fact. I'm born and raised in LA. This is a fact, bro. This is a fact. I did not.
Nah, you're not the first person to tell me that.
Bro, I did not listen to Jay-Z, no Nas, bro, no Biggie. It was no none of that, bro. No, none of that. The closest I got to East Coast music was like LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes, and they was playing it safe. It wasn't no nothing. If Pac said "fuck you," it was "fuck them niggas." I don't even know what I was saying. For it was just, nigga, this just what it was. You get what I'm saying? So the love
100%.
before his death, did y'all know the actual love y'all had out here out west, or it took for him, you know, or it took after you realized it after his death?
Well, definitely realize the love that he had, but it became a lot more known, and the outpouring was a lot greater after he passed away. I'm gonna say it like that. You know what I mean? Pac was right up until he got to Death Row and, you know, got all that platinum success with Death Row, even though he was platinum before Death Row. You know, Pac was grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe it or not, he had movies, he had records and all of that, but he was always still grinding to get to where he saw himself. He always saw himself at the top. You know what I'm saying? As
Always had that confidence.
as the greatest, 100%. So, you know, he never got a chance to really, he got a small chance to see it after All Eyes on Me came out. But, you know, he never got a chance to see how truly, you know what I mean, great he was gonna be, and how much, like you said, the West Coast absolutely loved him.
Man, he definitely immortalized out here, man. But I would say, man, it was a rumor going. You don't have to answer. It was a rumor going around when Pac was going around. I don't know if it's rumor or it's facts that he said that he was cremated and the Outlaws put some of his ashes in a spliff. You know what I'm saying? And sparked it up, and you know what I'm saying. Was that? Can you confirm that or not?
Well, it's a song called Black Jesus. And in that song, he says, "Last wishes, cremated, nigga, smoke my ashes." And so, you know, we would have conversations about all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You know how you sitting around with your homies and y'all smoking, and you just get having one of them high conversations, like nigga, when I die, nigga, I love y'all niggas so much, I want y'all niggas to smoke my ashes. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you tight and you love your nigga like you love him, you be like, man, shit, that's an easy call. And in his mind, if we did that, we'd always be together. And so, you know, when he passed, we wanted to, you know, honor his wishes and shit. And so we thought we did. But then years later, I heard his mom's was like, you know, nah, gave us something that we thought was ashes, and we thought we did smoke it, but I don't think we really did.
That's crazy. Have somebody ever asked you that before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Vlad asked us that shit like damn near 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was one of his first viral videos when he asked us that question. I didn't answer it. Young Noble did, rest in peace. He answered the question, but that was one of the first time Vlad had a viral moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy. So I want to ask you about the song, one of my favorite songs of all time, and which I feel like the greatest diss song of all time. I don't even know how they got the other dude even close to that, but did he hit y'all like, hey man, suit up? You know what I'm saying? We going in, or like how did that whole hit 'em up thing come about? We know how I got there to that point leading to there, but like as far as the song, which I was just in the stool one day, like, man, we about to just write, or he called y'all like, look, we gotta.
Nah, Hit 'Em Up was actually a song we talked about when he was locked up in Dannemora Clinton prison.
Not Clinton?
Clinton, yeah.
Oh, he was in Clinton?
Yeah.
So he was beefing with you know who before he got out?
Well, he felt like, and he's on record speaking about this.
Yeah.
But he had certain feelings that he felt, you know, the way it was handled when he got shot and he got robbed, he felt like certain individuals didn't have his back.
Yeah, played the
back. Like he would have had their back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, Hit 'Em Up was absolutely a song we talked about while he was in prison, and when he got out, we just followed the plan.
I mean, did it happen?
It was
right
a bunch
away,
of songs we came up with.
Or it took another incident to happen before he's like, nah, you know what? That song that we was talking about, let's go ahead and record that. Yeah, y'all did it. So y'all did that before y'all was with Death Row?
Nah, we did that when we got to Death Row.
Like right when y'all got there, you already had it in it, like in the chamber?
I don't remember exactly when we did it because we was recording around the clock. So
yeah.
It was just one of the songs. Like we did a version of it, and it was more like a freestyle. And then, you know, Pac was like, nah, we're gonna turn this into a real song. So we did it over. And so we did it over sometime in '96.
Classic.
Yeah.
Turned into a classic.
Yeah.
Do you remember the like hearing it? Was they playing it on radio back then?
They played it on the radio for a quick minute, then they banned it.
Hurry up and banned it. Yeah. But like, where the streets got a hold to that, do you remember the reactions of the street? Like, when y'all getting calls from like the East Coast, like, bro, like, what's the...
For sure. My cousins used to call me and put the phone out the window. Like, man, they been riding up and down the block playing this damn song every day, and we'd be able to listen to them, you know what I mean, playing the song on the block.
So they was playing it on the East Coast?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because one thing about New York and the East Coast, they appreciate good hip-hop. And battle rapping, and, you know, I started as a battle rapper. I used to battle niggas and shit, you know what I mean? Rap against other niggas for money and shit like that. And so that was just really like battle rap to me, put on wax.
On wax.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, New York appreciate great hip-hop, even if, you know, they may not agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And so,
absolutely.
And even though, without a doubt, Big was the king of New York at the time, you know what I'm saying? Arguably the best rapper out of New York at the time. Not everybody was a Biggie fan on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? You had some people that wasn't fans of Big or you know, Bad Boy and their style of hip hop.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had supporters out there too.
How did you feel when Pac and Dre relationship started to turn, like, you know what I mean? At first it was cool. I'm assuming it was cool. You correct me if I'm wrong. They started off, you know, with the hits or whatever. When it started turning left, like, how was you feeling about that? Like, or did you feel anything?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I didn't really feel no kind of way because at the time we were so new to Death Row. Like, Death Row was a moving entity when we got there. You know what I'm saying? They had different sides. You know what I'm saying? They had different sides. They had a red side, blue side. You know what I mean? They had, you know, Dre and his camp, and so it was kind of already kind of separated. And then we come in there and we just, you know, we fucking with everybody. It's all love. You know what I mean? And so for us as the Outlaws, it was like, you know, Dre wasn't never really that much around when we got there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really.
On his way
I probably seen Dre in the studio about maybe once or twice when we got there, and you know, Dre eventually left Death Row like pretty quickly when we got there.
Oh, okay. And what about with him and Snoop? Like when they relationship, you know what I mean, started getting rocky. I don't know if they was able to bring it in before, you know what I'm saying, he ended up passing, but like, how did you feel about that? Like dang, it's Snoop, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they started off cool.
Their relationship was great for 98% of the time. Pac was at Death Row, you know what I'm saying? Snoop and Pac was like, you know, brothers in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? They definitely was super tight. Pac was you know, very supportive of Snoop when he was fighting his murder case and going to court and showing up. And, you know, Snoop was very, you know, Snoop and the Dog Pound, they was very generous with you know, their time, their energy, and their music. Daz doing production, you know what I'm saying? Corrupt. Shout out to Corrupt and Daz, both of them my brothers to this day.
The big homie, shout out to both of them, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just all love, and then, you know, they had a disagreement. Everybody know about that disagreement, and they never got a chance to work it out. But I feel like personally, they would have worked that out. You know what I'm saying? Because they was that tight. It would have never, in my opinion, been something that lasted or went any further than where it was at.
Yeah, with all respects, how did you feel when the affiliation started to come around? When him and Suge was like coming more than like business partners, it was like, you know, he was taking him on the wing and he started picking up certain affiliations and stuff like that. How did you and the Outlaws feel about that, or if you felt any type of way about that?
I mean, that wasn't really a surprise to us, man, because if you knew Pac, you know he was a very loyal guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he was, you know, if Pac fuck with you, he fuck with you the long way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And even to this day, I hear more and more stories of different people that had that same experience with Pac. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I was having an issue and Pac jumped in and you know, rolled with me. You know what I mean? And it's story after story after story of this man just being that kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? Even with the incident in Atlanta where he shot the 2 cops, you know, that was literally a situation where he seen a brother getting jumped in the street, you know what I mean, by 2 white guys.
Yeah.
And he just hopped out the car and was like, nah, I'm not, y'all not on my watch. Y'all not doing that on my watch. You know what I mean? He could have went upstairs to his hotel room and been like, look, that ain't my issue, you know what I mean? Absolutely. I'm going upstairs and I got these women with me, I got my homies, we finna go do what we do. But that wasn't him, you know what I'm saying? And so him being loyal to Suge and loyal to the people that he felt at the time, you know, threw him a lifeline when nobody was trying to throw him a lifeline, that wasn't really a surprise to us because that was his character and that was his nature.
But what would you say with the #1 album in a country? Why didn't he have? Why wasn't that situation right? Like when he went to jail, like if I'm not mistaken, he had the #1 album in the country, right? Like what was they trying to like get over on him or something? Like, or they was trying to hold him hostage, or what was that situation? Like, how did that even come to that? Like with a #1, you would think that like, nah, this our artist, we not gonna let him out. Like how did, I know they say Suge when bought him out the contract or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or however that went, but how you got an artist that's the #1, or was it just like the case, or what would you say about that? Like how did that come about?
Well, I mean, at the time, Pac was fighting like 13 different cases.
Oh, was he?
You know what I'm saying? Around the country for different various charges and shit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, long story short, he was a problem and a headache to, I believe, to Interscope Records. And they felt like, look, he sells records, so, you know, we're not going to drop him so another label could pick him up and make a bunch of money off of him. But let's see if Suge can handle it. Let's see if Suge can handle him. And you know, he's still on Interscope, but we ain't got to deal with him on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You always wonder what happened with that, man. But as far as thinking back right now, what would you say you regret not doing or saying to Pac? Like if you like before, like if you would have knew like this was gonna happen, or after this happened, like would you, like now that you got it on your heart, like what would you say? Like, man, I wish I could have said this, or I wish we could have did this. We were supposed to do this, or anything, if anything at all.
Well, 2 things. First, I never really got a chance to thank him for giving me the opportunity that he gave me and he blessed me with. You know, I really, if I had another chance to have a conversation with him, I'd just thank him. You know what I mean? Because he changed my whole life. You know what I mean? And I always had this dream of being in the hip hop business as a rapper, and you know, he made that happen with just being a generous dude. And the second thing I wish I could have told him, he probably wouldn't have listened to me, but when he got out of jail, I'd have told him like, yo, go on vacation for a month. Don't do no music, don't do no movies, don't do nothing. Just go on vacation for a month, because a lot of times, you know, us as young black males, we experience extreme trauma that we don't deal with. You know, we all deal with a lot of unresolved trauma, and the trauma starts from the time you know, you really come out the womb and you can experience the world, and you start having experiences, whether you have a parent that's an addict, or you know, you grow up in the ghetto, and you know, you're seeing violence every day. You're seeing, you know, drugs and all the shit that we see in the ghetto. We don't deal with that, and if we do deal with it, we deal with it in unhealthy ways. You know, smoking, drinking, bad eating habits. You know what I'm saying? Having multiple kids and different women, and all kind of different ways this trauma is realized, and I don't think he ever had a chance to deal with any of it. You know what I mean? And of course, had he lived and survived and able to get to the age that, you know, I am, and, you know, a lot of his fans are, might have had a chance to go to therapy, might have had a chance to really, you know, deal with that, but he never got a chance to deal with that. So for me, I'd have absolutely been like, yo, Pac, just take a month off. Go somewhere and don't deal with nothing, and then come back and get to work.
After knowing him his whole life, or your whole life or whatever, what would you think would be the best advice that he ever gave to you, or the best thing that you took away from him in his lifetime?
Just believing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude absolutely was one of those people that absolutely believed in himself. And you used the word delusional earlier, and that's actually an accurate way to describe him, but he wasn't delusional like to the point where he got reality, you know, he didn't understand reality, or he was like, you know, out of his mind, but he was just delusional with confidence. He absolutely believed in his abilities as a rapper, as an actor, as a man. You know what I mean? And that's the number one thing I learned from him. Just believe in yourself, even if nobody else do.
Okay, so what ended up happening with you guys once the passing of Pac? What it ended up happening with you, like, as far as like, if you could speak on it, like why was it like a lot of more outlaw albums? Could y'all like still make music under that name, or was it like contract wise, or y'all just like, you know what?
Well, actually, we did a bunch of albums. We just went independent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We started learning the business.
I remember y'all doing some albums, but I didn't know if, like, you know what I'm saying, what was like they dropped the label dropped y'all, or was y'all still signing Death Row after his passing, like the business side of that, you know? So
yeah, we signed a Death Row after he passed. We signed a Death Row like 98. You know what I mean? That didn't work out. Suge was locked up. The label ain't really know what to do with us, and we was just over there, you know, stuck like Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We wasn't getting no money. And so we was like, we got to figure out how to, you know, eat. You know what I'm saying? Or we're going to be back on the block type shit.
Yeah.
And so we got off of Death Row, and we immediately went independent and started selling records independent.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's what's up. But as far as like Snoop, you said the Dog Pound, they showed y'all a lot of love. What would you say, like, some of y'all best experiences coming out of Death Row, or if it's any at all, as far as with those people, Snoop, the Ass Scrub? Did y'all ever do something with Warren G? I know he was running around there for a little bit as well.
Nah, we ain't get a chance to work with Warren G, man, and I always wish we could have. Nate Dogg definitely, he sang on the song Teardrops and Closed Caskets. You know what I mean? And so we definitely got a chance to work with Nate once or twice. But Daz, Corrupt, definitely worked with those brothers, you know, numerous times. You know what I mean? Daz was actually running Death Row for a little bit. You know what I mean? And so he was pushing for us and trying to get our album released. It just didn't happen. And so, you know, my fondest memories though was always in the studio in Can-Am. You know what I mean? Death Row at that time had so much talent. Even they had so much talent that people never even got a chance to hear.
Talent on
You know
top
what I mean?
of talent.
Like super talented individuals over there at Death Row. And so, you know, I just got a chance to learn a lot. I learned how to make records. Like Death Row really, they was making records for real. You know what I mean? And not just going in the studio, you know, playing around.
Yeah, I know you probably did a million podcasts, man. They probably asked you this, but if you could let me bless me with, and the fans and the interviewers out there, what could you say? Tell us something that probably nobody knows about Tupac Shakur, and what nobody knows about E.D.I.
Man, it's hard to tell you anything that don't nobody know about Tupac, man, because, you know, there's so much information out there on him, and then it's also so many lies about him. And
Okay, well, I'll switch it up. What are some of the lies or rumors that you hear that you like, you know what, let me clear this up today? Like, are you heard?
That's one of the reasons why I started my own channel, man, E.D.I TV. And I do a segment. I do a segment called Talk My Truth, where I discuss certain things that I hear, you know, the bullshit that I hear. I touch on it. Some shit ain't even worth my time, you know what I mean? So I'm not even gonna touch on, you know, the real ridiculous, outlandish shit. But every now and then I have a little extra time and I decide to discuss it, you know what I mean? And, you know, I've heard all kind of shit, man, like Pac shot himself in New York, and you know what I mean, when the robbery, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. But sometimes the lies is more entertaining than the truth. So sometimes I let the lies fly, man, because
that's a fact.
I understand this is all entertainment. That's
a fact. Look, so a quick story. I don't know if you heard this or not, but I'm pretty sure you heard it. But like when I was a kid, I was 10. I was 10 when Pac lost his life, but I held on to it for life. I remember I used to just listen to the CDs and it was like he's still alive. He on another island. You know exactly what I'm talking, bro. I held on for that for so long, bro. And I know it's like that. They ain't never happened to me again in life. But I'm saying like his music was so influential and it was so powerful, bro. He was so much of a big figure. Like, and I just know, and I was a kid back then, but I know grown men and grown women was thinking the same thing. Like, really had this, like, you know what I'm saying, had this thought and this story. We didn't want him to be gone so bad. Like, I was really holding on to that. Like, and they're like, yeah, just listen to this song. And he say, I'm still alive. You know what I'm talking about, man. How like how did that like even know like, dang, these people like can't accept the fact that he really gone? Like, how did you take that, or did you say anything about it at all? Like, how would you feel like? Because I was one of those persons. I was a conspiracy theorist when it came to Pac. I would not accept the fact that he was gone, bro. I couldn't.
Yeah, Pac was a real smart dude, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he read a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he understood his power, but he also understood the need, the value in creating mystery around yourself. You know what I mean? And he would tell us mystery will help you live forever. That's where Outlaw Immortals came from. You know what I mean? And so he definitely understood that.
So as of lately, you know, AI technology it's pretty much taken over the world, especially the content space and the web, period. How does it make you feel, if you feel any way about it? It's like a lot of fake Pac posts or music with him or just quotes of people using AI to reenact certain scenes or portray him or other people in a different light when you know it's not Pac. Do you take it personally? Are you for it? Or are you just totally against it?
Well, I never take it personally because I know it's not a personal thing that's being done. I understand that you know, with technology gives us the ability to do certain things that we never had the ability to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like literally bring back a person, not physically, but image-wise, you can bring a person back that's been gone 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to respect technology and the advancements we've made in just a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's only going to start happening quicker because with artificial intelligence, this shit just learns from what we do as human beings and it perfects it. So let me get that out the way. I always respect technology and evolution. However, just because you could do some shit don't mean you should do it. Mm-hmm. And so we as human beings, we as people, we got to be able to regulate ourselves and say, okay, this man still got family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He still got people that love him and that miss him every day. And when you open up your phone and you see some AI image of Tupac in Cuba, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with, you know, Martin Luther King or something like that.
Crazy.
It's like, come on, we don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that because that's not cool. And at the end of the day, he ain't here no more. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we lost that gift. You know what I mean? We should appreciate it a little bit more when it was here. And because we didn't, not saying we as us, because we absolutely appreciated him and the people that loved him, such as yourself and the fans, but the other people, you know what I mean? Nah, let's not do that. That ain't cool.
Absolutely.
And the fake AI music too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cats be trying to send me like songs. It's like, like, it's trash.
Yeah, get that out of here. So what would you say or how would you feel about I don't know if you heard this before or whatnot, but supposedly Angie Martinez or Charlamagne the God, they got like an unreleased Pac interview or whatever the case is. How do you feel like them waiting now or obtaining the footage to want to put it out now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that tarnishes his legacy or, well, nothing can tarnish his legacy because that's a minute, but.
Amen.
Yeah, you know, like, do you think they coming for like portray him in a different light? And do you think it's like flat out disrespectful, like, you know what I'm saying, to wait this long? Or if do you even think it's real? They could be, you know what I'm saying, bluffing.
Well, nah, he actually did the interview with Angie Martinez. I was there for that.
Oh,
so
right?
I know it's an actual interview. And he actually wanted to do the interview. You know what I mean? I think he requested her to come out and do the interview. And
word. So it is confirmed. It should be some footage then.
Yeah, and a lot of people know about that interview because she released maybe a clip or two a few years back, but she never put out the whole interview in its entirety.
So she been holding that for dear life.
Yeah, and I actually commend her for that because most people would have ran and put that out. And I, you know, my opinion on it real quick is that if she didn't put it out, then why put it out now? To me, it's dated. It's 30 years old. Obviously, it was how Pac felt then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had he lived, he might not even feel like that no more. You know what I'm saying? He might, I'm pretty sure the kind of guy he was and as intelligent as he was and as evolving as he was as a man, he would have been off a lot of the shit that he talked about in that interview. He wouldn't even be in that headspace no more. So, me personally, you know, I don't think it has any value other than give some people, you know, something for people to talk about.
All right, man. I got two more questions, legend. Tupac got a daughter. Everybody saying it's Tupac got a daughter out there, man. Can you confirm that or deny those? I want to know. Do we got any children?
Tupac don't have no children, man.
Okay, that's a question definitely I wanted to know and everybody else would know. And also my last question.
If he did, we would know by now.
Yeah, if you can, rest in peace to his mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, rest in peace to the queen. A lot of people want to know where's his estate, like whatever happened to his estate as far as like you know, from my understanding, she ended up getting the state back or whatever. Now she's passed and he doesn't have any kids. Who has the Tupac catalog, if you could speak on it, or who has the estate?
Well, the Tupac catalog is owned by his estate. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And his you know, she never lost control of the estate. She left certain specific instructions if she was to pass, how she wanted the business to be handled, and it's being handled in that way.
And
You
distribute.
know what I mean? Like it's being according to her wishes, it's being handled the way she wanted it to be handled.
Can we say it? Because you say it's family, or you can't.
It's a combination of both.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Cleese 93 TV. It's an
Nah, man, I
absolute
appreciate
pleasure,
y'all
man.
having me, man. Great interview.
A legend
Great
again,
questions, man.
A legend.
Yes,
Absolutely
indeed.
a legend, man. Me to you, man. Big fans, man. Y'all legend, man. I swear to God, man.
Much love. Much love. Man.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate that. 100%.